for those people that are trying to get in touch with me, my email is here. I'll get out of the light. Hang on. I'll get it. Hang on. We're getting it. There. The O in Matty O is a letter, not a number. So for those people that are trying to get in touch with me, that's my email address. It's right there. Okay. Anyway. That said, we have a 288 starter to work on. I wasn't going to go live tonight because we don't have a whole lot to do, but we got the 288 to work on. We got to put seals in it. We got a starter to work on. It's at least a couple of things. So might as well work on stuff. And I feel bad about last night about the. I don't know why it was buffering so much, but I guess it was. So. Okay. So, 5 people. Who's here? So the starter's in front of me, and actually just parts. I got all kinds of goodies. So 288 starter. This is old, and I happen to have a brand new OEM one here, so why not? Fresh new O-ring for the oiler, which I'll get to in a little while. I got 4 of them. I should be able to pick one out of there. That'll work. Yeah, so let's get this apart and see what we got cooking. And I have actually just cleaned up quite a bit of my shop here, so got a solder, got it fired it up, and the connecting rod broke. Oh, that's bad. What happened, Marshall? What'd you do? Too much of a head slapper? Was it a head slapper? Hey, Peter. I need a big one for this. I need a big sucker to get these off. Not a head slapper? So why'd the connecting rod break? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Gotta pull a little bit of slack in here. Wow, this thing was wound tight. It sounded good for about a minute. Yeah. Some of the best ideas, right? Well, it sounded good at the time. It's funny, like some people really have trouble with the cranks on them, but on that 660 that Mason's running, it seems to be pretty good. It's clean. Like it looked great when we opened it. No bluing, nothing. Yeah, if you got an OEM crank, I would use that for sure. Wilmington Dish Divers. What's going on, man? Welcome. Just working on a starter here. I mean, this is nothing, nothing completely crazy. Just wanted to pull some of this stuff out of here and see if I need to order anything. I really don't like that handle, so I'm just going to nip this and nip that and get rid of them. I think I'm going to need a longer piece of cord than that. Hey Larry, how you feeling? Everything good? Gonna go like a foot longer than that. Next issue we're going to have is getting the spring back in. Little chill outside, yeah. Thinking of building a 660. My 3.7 turned out good. Appreciate your videos for guidance. No problem. Happy to help. Happy to help. Hey, Boneyard. It is chilly outside. I have a sneaky suspicion here that I'm going to have to take this spring and let it go flying. What upgrade 660 build seals bearing? Yep. Actually, you can look up my 660 build because I did one of those. It's a little bit older now, but I think it's still relevant. Hey, Steve. And based on the look of this, I don't think I'm going to get this thing back together tonight because that part looks like it has seen better days. I don't know if I have another piece. Yeah, so on the 660, the first thing that I start with is a OEM wrist pin and pin bearing. You often have to change out the throttle and all that linkage, the plastic pieces in there, the multifunction switch, that type of thing. Some people recommend change out the crank and the bearings. You can do that, but I find that there's other stuff to change out. So personally, I keep the original bearings. If you want it, the easy thing to do, the easy and cheap thing to do, is to change out the flywheel side bearing for a Japanese 6203. The PTO side, if you want to be cheap but have a much more quality bearing, then you can actually cheat a little bit and use the Husky version of the 390 XP PTO bearing. Actually fits, supposedly. So, what else? Sometimes the clutch drums are out around. You might want to go with a highway clutch instead of a Farmer Tech. What else? Get rid of the Chinese plug. NGK is nice. A decompression valve, that's the OEM Husky valves, are really good too. So it's a bunch of stuff that you add up, and it starts to get kind of pricey kind of quick. Okay. Let me see if I have another one of those parts. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I got all kind of parts, but I don't think I got that one. Well, now, that might make our trip a little easier. A new spring. Take care, Marshall. that shroud piece is definitely one of those parts that is unlikely for me to have picked up extra for that. Alright, so I will have to pick up fresh of that. So, what do I do with that spring? What do you think? Should I try to salvage that spring? Yeah, I mean, you could certainly build it just out of the box. There's plenty to be said for that, by the way. And just, build it as they give it to you and see what happens. A lot of guys really don't see the point in getting a Chinese saw and then putting hundreds and hundreds of dollars into it of other parts. Hey, Woody. Yeah. I think there's plenty to be said for putting it together right out of the box. But if you want a little more reliable, well, the spring there, if I had to guess, is probably at least a little bit rusty at this point. So there's not much point in salvaging the rest of this. This is broke. I know Nikki would be pissed at me if I put this in the bin, right? Sorry, Nikki. Goes in the bin. Take care, Boneyard. The top handle is really flexy from Farmer Tech. Try it yourself, see what happens. But Highway makes a much better handle. Steve. Just so everybody knows, Nikki Walsh is going to be getting his care package one of these days, and he's going to put up a video on it, I'm sure. So if anybody and everybody can go check out his channel, that'd be great. Just need the hammer. Hang on. I know, send it for Christmas. You guys, you don't want to know how much the shipping was. For that box I sent to him, the shipping was just so incredibly cost prohibitive. It was bad. So that center part needs to be bent a little bit. Just a little bit. It's too hooked right there. Just needs to be a tad. There. That'll be fine. Yeah, well, it had that wire surrounding it, so you just got to work it in there nice and gentle and don't let it go boing like I did last time. That goes on no problem. So, what do you think? Should I get a new part and do this right? Or put the old part on and looks like somebody kind of jury-rigged it here? I think I should just get a new part. I think I need to get a new part. That's what I think. I need something right here. Right on. That'll work. So I need 288. There's a spring on the rear handle of the gas tank. I gotta figure that out. And I need the starter shroud. Yeah, it would play with my conscience. You're right. We're gonna bin that. Bin that too. That way, don't have to worry about my conscience. Now this thing, a washer that's kind of splayed out a little bit too much. I don't think it's supposed to quite look like that. See, I've got bundles of parts here. I'm not sure that. Hang on. Let's see. Maybe I got the fresh part. I don't know. Just a washer. Nope, not on that bag of goodies. I know. I have very enviable bags of goodies. But I don't have that part. As far as I can see. So, whoop. Losing stuff. This bag is torn. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I could possibly. Let me see. Put it in the ground here and go bam. Wow. That actually worked better than I thought it would. That's M5. I don't like this screw here. Yeah, I was thinking like, hey, that would work, but might be a little too. Just want to try it and see. That'll work fine. The question is, will this run into the flywheel? It might. I might actually have to use that panhead screw because it's flatter. Yeah, this is just T-handles from Harbor Freight. They're really inexpensive. I'll check and see if this actually. Yeah, that'll work fine. Okay. Okay, not going anywhere. These two tiny little screws. There are two tiny little screws that hold that shroud on. them in here. Again, that way they don't get lost. Well, they've certainly lasted. I don't know about well made, but for sure they've lasted me plenty of jobs. They really work nice, at least for what I'm doing. Really hard to complain. Good. So I just need that shroud. And I've got some rope here. Oh, you know, we can attach this, right? We can do that. And there's a handle over here somewhere that I tossed in here. Tossed the handle somewhere. The newer design. Oh, no. Hang on. That's where it is. This one. Let's do this one. Gotta wiggle it a bit and make sure it comes off, otherwise you pull the whole thing out. All right. Yeah, nothing wrong with doing this. Hit this with the torch. Get my torch. Put it against something cooler, just to get flat a little bit. Just to flatten the end a little, and it'll be less likely to pull out. All right. 1, 2 wraps. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's certainly longer than it was before. Nice long pull cord. That's fine. Could probably use another little bit, but it's all right. I'll put it through here. Don't burn yourself. They get real hot. There. So, when the part comes, I just put it on there. We'll be good. Piece cake. Throw this on there again to make sure it doesn't get lost. here. Damage. Hey, Patrick. You're for beer and pizza. Okay. Look at all these goodies. So while we're at this here, let's get this seal done. Now, I mean, you can do this all kinds of different ways. I still like using my Coke can trick. Just a piece of Coke can, rounded ends. And we'll put the seal down on that. But, see, one of the issues, you see that there's a lip here. And you got to guide it over the lip best you can. And usually on the flywheel side, it's easier than doing it on the PTO side. There's more of a lip on the PTO side. But it's still, I still like using the Coke can trick. Did you do the bearing? Yeah, this was the 288 we did the bearings and cases on before. It was a little while ago. More parts. Lovely. Okay. Whatever, we'll get to the oiler in a minute. That's its own ball of wax. So, brake cleaner. Make the surface is nice and clean. You can, if you want, put a little grease on the Coke can. So as you bring the seal down, it'll slide down well, and it'll grease the inner part of the seal, if you want. One thing I like to do is take Loctite 5-8, use it on the outside of the seal on the metal part. And we are getting some wind. Sounds like a hurricane out there. Great for the tree guys. I'm sure they're busy. Oh, and before I do that, let's put that down for just a minute. Before I do that, measurement. So take a depth measurement. Hey, James. 11.39 millimeters. Double check. 9.25. Yeah, because 11.3 doesn't sound right. So about 9.5 millimeters from the outside here to the outer lip to the inner race. Now you do not want to seat this down all the way on the race. This is right about 5 millimeters thick. So about 3.5 to 4 millimeters in is really all that you want. Now I'm going to use, let's see, on this one, should I use a piece of pipe? Just a piece of copper pipe. Now, if you get the OEM tools, they have like these hat things. You just go boom, and it goes in exactly to the right depth. You do not want to cock this to one side. The copper is nice because you're unlikely to scratch a magnesium case. Because it's nice and soft. Ooh. Yeah, let's check and see. It's like 2.5, I'll bet. Yeah, 2.5. Another millimeter or so. You don't want to drive it too far because you ain't getting it out without ruining it. Hey, Stanley. Keep going, just a tad more. .29, 2.94, 3.14, 1.15. So this side, not quite as deep. We'll put it at the 3 millimeter mark and pull this out. And we'll see if we're beyond the lip, and we're not quite there. So the outer rubber part of the lip needs to be basically beyond the lip on the crank to provide the best seal. So it needs to be driven another little bit. Almost. 3.93, 3.52, 3.62. Okay, so this side's got to get driven a little further. .07. 3.8. That's about 3.98. 3.91. Just a hair more there, maybe. So double, triple check all the depths. Just a hair more. 1/10 of a millimeter, not much. 4.0, good. Yeah, now I'm within the realm of my ability to measure. Clean this up with a Q-tip. -20, yikes. Yeah, now I'm over the lip, and that seal's not too far down, so that's just where we want it. So 9.5 -5 is 4.5. Right now we're at about 4 millimeters in, so you have half a millimeter of depth. It's perfect. It's right where you want it. Now we have this whole hunk of problem. All right, start putting some stuff away. I know. Believe it or not, my other bench is, well, it's not clean, but it's better. We're better. I spent quite a bit of time today cleaning some stuff up. That in a minute. These parts we don't need for the moment. There. Actually, we will need those because I need screws. So there's a few things to consider here. You really need to have that O-ring fresh and new. You need to have a new seal in the oiler, your X-ring, and the oil dip tube. All that stuff. Oh, I got it. Sorry, Mason was texting me. Okay. See, there's a lot going on in here. That's kind of one thing to keep in mind when you're doing 288 Oilers. And the 268, 272 as well, of course. I'll find out what the heck's in here. I need like a plate I can dump this out on. That's not a 268 Oiler. Or that is a 268 Oiler. That's not 288. That's 268. Right. Am I going to get lucky, though, and have Oiler bolts there? No. Those look like AV bolts. So, put back in here. I had forgotten about these parts. Hey, look, circlips. Oh, shucks. Oh, Nikki, there's your throttle. Sorry, buddy. I forgot about these parts. I am very wrong sometimes. Actually, I gotta throw all these in the ultrasonic and get them going. I need oiler screws first before I do anything else on this. And these, I believe, are M4, not M5. Now I gotta do things like, yeah. I know, nobody really feels sorry for Nikki. Hey, the dryer's done. Hey, Tim, how you doing? These are them. That is Oiler. That is coil, I think, not oiler. But we're going to pull out all the M4 stuff anyway. Because I don't rightly remember. I think that's enough for now. Might as well take all the AV mounts and put them in their own bag. That's easy. Just the back. Going to church. Well, 15 people here. It's pretty good. This is fine. Do I have any AV mounts in here? Not look like it's something to worry about. Okay. Now I gotta put all this back in the bag. One of these bags looks not the same. Any idea how expensive this stuff is? Ooh. Let's do that one. This stuff is pricey. We got that. Oh, we need the oiler pinion. Hang on. It's either that one or this one. I think either work. Clips and washers. Now the cost of the bolts is just nutty. Literally nutty. Nutty. So what I do, what I can, is buy lots on eBay if they pop up. Almost done here. I know, there's got to be a better system, right? As well. Actually, we should choose an oiler first, so let's pull that up. See which one's rebuildable or whatever. Have a good night, James. This one looks nice. That one's nice. This one doesn't have the adjuster bolt in it, but oh look, ooh. There's a Woodruff key. Don't lose that. Um, let's use this one. We do have the adjuster right there. Got to pop the seal out, and then I also have to pop the cover on this and pull this all apart and make sure it's clean, you know. So let's use a really big nut. Like that. Done. There's the old seal. Would not trust that. Then I'm going to pull the O-ring that's on there off. Would not trust that either. There. These take a set, and you really don't want to trust it. So in the bin that goes. Make sure it's clean. You don't want stuff in the bearing. So now, I think these shorter ones are indeed the ticket. Nope, I'm wrong. The long ones are. Yep, it definitely holds it down, so that's good. One, two, three. 3 oiler bolts. Now we got that. Okay, we got the oiler bolts. Let's put the rest of these. Actually, I'm going to put the rest of these in my M4 container here. We need to rebuild the oiler, or at least take it apart. This is all kind of dirty here. turning it to make sure it's loose. And then you have to push it out. Which may prove a little difficult. Hey, Stanley. Crystal Lake, Balilla, Michigan, snowmobile ice fishing. I could probably do snowmobiling. I think I'd have fun. But the ice fishing, I don't get it. You got the chain sharpening. Good. See, can I push it? Yes. This should like easily come out, you know. Yeah, I know some people, you know, have really crazy places and nifty contraptions and all kinds of stuff, but again, I just don't, even though it's comfortable, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily appealing. It might be quiet. It might be, you know, away from the in-laws or whatever, you know. See, this is just a plug here, and it needs to be moved out. But it is not easy to move necessarily. And it should really just like fall out. Sit out drinking by ice fishing. Yeah. It's almost there. Should basically fall out, this darn thing. I can just push it. Oh. You can only push it so far, but let's see if I can. Don't want to do that. Just need to dig something in there a little thinner. Just a little thinner. Nope. There. This is all, it's all gunked up in here. Settler Saws, how you doing? Welcome. Just taking apart a 288 oiler. I mean, this is nothing too spectacular. Just hanging out, really. Oh, no wonder. There's something on the bottom I'm missing. Yeah, I know. Drink a beer time. Wait a minute. Okay. There it goes. I say, was there a roll pin holding it in? No. There's a screw, though. There. Just going to go down here and clean it. Did someone say beer? What's the easiest saw I've ever worked on? Ooh. I don't know. That's a really good question. What's the easiest saw I've ever worked on? Off the top of my head, the easiest saw to get right is probably a 394. I think it's the easiest saw to just put it back together and have it be right from the get-go. I had really intended to watch Jeopardy tonight, by the way. Almost. I just make sure that it's pretty clean in there, you know. Now this part, same deal. Two washers, spring, brake cleaner on that to make sure it's reasonably clean. Fishing at deer camp station. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So these don't really need modification. Some like the 660 oil pumps, you can modify and get them to oil better and stuff. And I I don't see the need on these. Push it down in, put your screw back home. That's not good. That away. Gotta make sure the screw is it's not binding. This doesn't feel like it wants to seat all the way either. Still not seating all the way home. What the heck? That's as far as she seats. Never mind. Not as far as she seats. Fill it up with oil. Okay, so now this piece goes back in straight. I can put the adjuster down in here. Just tap it on in. And screw around home. There we go. Now, let's see if it actually works. A little bit of oil right there. Question is, will it come out here? Well, hang on. Should be able to run this and have it just kind of there. I don't know which way to go. There it comes. You should be able to see that. The oil coming in and out of here. Good. So that works. That's fine. Okay, so now that's on those surfaces, it's brake cleaned off, degreased, so I can use some 1184. Might as well do the whole thing here, kind of. Where the rubber is degreased, and where the seal is going to go is degreased also. This is a job. I mean, there's no two ways about it. This is a job. The rubber X-ring goes on here. Okay. Too many things going on here. Okay. Let's get this a new seal in. That makes sense, right? Need one of those. Same seal as on the other side, which makes me happy, by the way. I have to inventory list stuff. And for here, kind of the same deal. Just hit it with the 1184. Not 11. This is Loctite 518. Don't use 1184 here. You can. I like the anaerobic in this application. So, put it down like that. Start banging. Don't get it cockeyed. Some genius is going to be like, Maddie, you're putting it in backwards. No, I'm not. Don't do that to me. Now, I can always adjust this later if I need to. Like right now, it looks a little under flush over here, maybe a little over flush there. I can tap this back later. So here we're going to get our Coke can out again. And we use this in the same way as we did before. We're also going to get our O-ring, wherever that thing went. That better not be in the garbage. Ooh, this would be good too. Where did I put the O-ring? You guys see where that ran off to? Oh, over here. Okay. Here. Got it. Clean off the rubber here. So you kind of get everything ready, you know. O-ring goes on there. If you want to be fancy, there's a little bit of 518 around there. Remember, this is anaerobic sealer. So, if you use extra, it'll just get washed away by gasoline. And we're just about ready here. Everything's got to get set, you know, just so. In order to do this. So we want to look at also on the crank, it's this lip. You got to get over that. Again, brake cleaner. If anybody wants deer, they can come to Connecticut. There's way too many. They spread Lyme disease. Terrible. Just wrecks everybody. Later, Patrick. Thanks for coming around. Okay, 1184, I think. Time for Loctite and 1184. A little bit of blue thread locker. 1184. Light coating. You don't need much here. Good. Now we're going to take the oiler and stick it down there. Boom. Perfect. Got our oiler here. Same thing here. There we go. Loctited, 1184. The seal is kind of greased and gooped in the whole bit. I should put some grease on there. Again, a little bit of grease right on the crank area is fine. Right where the seal is going to go. Good. Where the O-ring's going to go, I want it clean because I've got 518 on the seal. So right where that seal is going to go is nice and clean. Okay, ready to rock. X-ring, so the rubber's good, the goops are good. Coke cans down. Nice and easy. This is all set. And oiler bolts. And my 3mm right here. Easy. Put these down. Easy. Kind of annoying. Ta-da! Oiler, your seal. Very gently bring this out. I see I want to tap the seal in at the top here just slightly. It really doesn't need to leave it. It's good. Just, it's fine. Painstaking job, yeah. To get everything just so, it's a bit. It really is a bit of work. So, it's reality for 288s and any of the Oilers like this. I think 394 is a bit easier, frankly. Okay, now here should be a washer. A fairly large washer. Let's see in this bag. There's one I think this should do. That's it. That'll do. Tim, is there any hope of recovering anything? Oh, this is definitely a pile of parts. Brand new highway clutch. I need a drum though. I don't remember seeing one. I have plenty of those, but it might be out in my 394 pile. No idea why I don't have one here, but it's out in my. Yeah, I think it's out in my 394 file. Shit. Okay. Take these other Oilers. How you doing, Brett? Washer. Like those. Because it's a special size washer. It has to sit just right on the crank so that it prevents movement that way so you don't bugger the seal. Right on my foot. That's good. That's fine. It doesn't need to be on tight. I just need to get the drum, and then I'll need a rim, yes, which I have in here, so that's not a big deal. All right, I think that's about that for tonight because I don't have the head. Hoping tomorrow night to have the head. Take that off. If I have the head, then we can get squished, and then I can figure out whether I want to machine this or not, you know? So this is a 288 here, and does anybody have any interest in it? Because I don't need it. I already have a 288 for sale, and this is another one. If anybody has any interest, then we can do this up as they like, you know? Well, that's stiff on there. Anyway, that rolls nice. Very nice. Questions, comments, anything else, guys? Anybody interested in this 288? They, are thinking, hey, I'd like one or anything like that. I think I'll go and hang out with the family and whatnot and call it a night here. Well, I know that I need to order a part, so we'll do that. And I need to order a few parts in order to get this up and running. I doubt we're going to be having this running anytime soon. But who knows? Who knows? So, everybody have a great night. Thanks much for joining in. I do appreciate it. You know that I grew up and started alternate rebellion. Tear starters on. Put me to work. Perfect. Pass. Brett's pass. G44 to complete. Have a good night with the fam. Thanks, Brett. A 444, huh? Well, you have fun with that. And is that the 440 or the 460 clone? The 440 kit was like, for me. I like the 660 kits better. I like the 360 kits least, I think. Anyway, let me run. Clone, bad carb. No, it was just, the whole kit was kind of that's all. I think the 660 is the best bang for buck in the whole shoot there. It's it'd be a more valuable saw, so there's more room to work with putting nice parts in it. Pretty simple. So anyway, yeah, and the smaller ones really tend to be, like the 200T clone, I really think that you probably need quite a bit of parts in that to actually make it a fairly serviceable saw. And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to buy the Chinese clone when you can probably get a used one and start with better parts. And anyway, so that's kind of where my brain's at. But everybody can disagree with me if they like. So everybody have a great night. Stanley, Brett, Pat, Tim, we're happy to have you back, buddy. And you guys take care and be safe, okay? We'll see you soon. If I can, I'll be on tomorrow night with a new head. Bye.